Hello again. Don't wait until it's too late. That's the warning from SANRAL as we enter the last week for drivers to take advantage of the 60% discount to settle their historic e-toll debt. Let's discuss this further now with Wayne Duvenage. He's chairman of Outa, the organization undoing tax abuse. Wayne, good morning. Thanks for your time. A week left for anybody who wants to take advantage. To your knowledge, are people actually taking advantage? Have they been taking advantage of this discount?
Very few. In the first 5 months, this dispensation came on board 2nd of November last year. The first 5 months, we believe, and as per SANRAL's numbers, less than 1% uptake. The ring-fence debt of 5.9 billion rand, less than 100 million rand in the first 5 months. But I have no doubt that in this last month there's going to be an increased uptake, but it's never going to get them to the levels that
in the next
need.
week. Yeah.
In the next week, but we're not sure what the last couple of weeks have been either. I think there's a little bit of a concertina uptake, but it's small. It's small in the greater scheme of things.
So what do you think is the attitude of motorists out there? Is it like, you know, like we say, don't wait until it's too late, is the message from SANRAL? Are they going to go and then what? Are motorists going, okay, so what are you going to do after that? Are they willing to call the bluff?
Well, exactly. I think it's now come to a head. This is the last carrot. You know, they've been offering these carrots and sticks for some time now. The stick is the final thing that they can do, and that is the threat of summonses that they have intended to send out, civil summonses. We believe they have sent them out to less than 0.02% of the motorists out there. Now, what that's supposed to do, we don't know. Certainly, we don't believe it's going to get people scurrying off and running to take up this dispensation or to tag up. The people are angry on this matter. It's 2.5 years since the scheme is launched. It has completely failed. Its compliance levels are around about the 20%. And you need 80, 85, 90% compliance for a user pay scheme to work of this nature.
Speaking of those summons, I mean, when we last spoke, it was mostly to businesses, people or companies that have maybe fleets or they run more than a couple of vehicles on the roads. Has anybody come to you for any help?
We've had a handful of our members have received summonses. We've already started the process of working with them to send notice of intention to defend back to SANRAL. We have briefed our legal team, we have senior counsel, and we are going all the way on this. We will fight back right to the end. SANRAL cannot, and government cannot, get away with this state coerciveness, this victimization of the people. They will not roll over and bow down to this bullying tactic of theirs, and we'll fight this matter.
And with rising costs in every other aspect of their lives, one would imagine that e-tolls is the furthest thing from their minds. But I mean, Wayne, what are we likely to expect? Are we likely to see SANRAL in its desperation to recoup this money and get the money that it needs? Are they going to try and get stricter, and how do they get stricter on this? How else can they force the public?
Well, they simply can't. It's just a bridge too far now. This is a case of now the ring-fence debt of 5.9 billion has gone now up to 7.5. That was up to September. 7.5 billion rand outstanding. They will never get this money back. The war and the attrition and the process that they're going to have to go through over a long period of time in order to try and claw back a small amount of that is not going to happen. It's just it's a fight that I don't think government in the long term is going to allow SANRAL to continue with. It is literally a case of the state versus the people in a matter that has got out of control right now. And a state-owned entity like SANRAL is just ploughing ahead.
And I think people are probably, or motorists probably wondering, okay, what can they do to me? I mean, are they, to your knowledge, stopping people where when you're getting stopped at random checks, are they asking about e-tolls? Is there anybody there, have you paid your bill, or do you have tag?
They can't ask you if you've got a tag whether you've paid your bills at all. They cannot withhold your license, your vehicle license. And remember, that was a threat that government was beating the
your
drum
car
on
license, wasn't it? If you had to renew your car license.
Yeah, they were beating that drum heavily in the middle of last year. They've dropped that because they know that that's a bigger problem for them. So all they can do is hold people to account by issuing civil summonses, and how they're going to do that for 2 million people over the next whatever period.
And we already know that people are not receiving their normal fines in the post because Department of Transport hasn't paid its bills there to the post office. So how are they going to get that to the people?
Well, that's the one side of it. But I mean, the whole post office debacle as well has made this matter worse.
Okay, so the fight continues.
It will continue, and Outa is fighting all the way to the end.
All right, thanks very much for that. That's Wayne Duvenage, chairman of Outa.